Why didn't anyone tell me there was a Garo special? Yeah, hi, week... whatever I'm on for these. Toqger 5 and Gaim 22 in a moment, but I'm surprised I didn't find out about this. Garo is a horror-themed tokusatsu, like, dark graphic, and I've been honestly meaning to watch it, but, you know, busy. But there was a recent miniseries called Zero Black Blood. Zero is one of the secondary characters of Garo, and once the last set of episodes in that has been subtitled, I'll just do a special one on all 6 of them, because I really want to see Garo. The 3rd season even had the guy who played Guy Ikari in Toqger in it, so I was kind of curious on what he did with that, but it's about 70, 80 episodes, so it's kind of, I need to get a space free to marathon it. Anyways, Toqger 5. They're just being plain about Wright being an idiot at this point. So they come across a shadow line station that blocks off access to the rail lines, so they need to use one of the supplementary trains called the car carrier to get into it. They explained a bit of it, of where they get the supplementary arms at the end of the episode, just that they're support trains, they're not part of the regular line, which is why they weren't aware of them. Plus, you know, last episode showed they're not exactly completely ready to get these. But they only had the 2 because of the Shadow Line expansion, which is fair. Introduce the idea of it, then find the other units. So I don't think that was too badly executed. It's just that they came out of nowhere until they finally explained it. Problem is, the rail line was broken, so they had to send them in by shooting cars into the area of the station, and then they used the car carrier to cross the bridge at the end of the episode to get the mechs in for the Megazord fight, when they could have done that at the beginning of the episode. It's fridge logic that... well, actually, it's not exactly fridge logic. It's when they did that, I thought, why didn't they do that at the beginning of the episode? Actually, it was to set up most of the stupid Raita plot. The monster of the week was one that devours all food and creates despair for the Shadow Line through hunger. And right when he was shut off from the car carrier, kind of went wide. That was my phone giving me an alert. He shot wide from the line, so he got helped by these people who were campers, and they got Riot away from them pretty fast because Riot was an idiot and ate the last, and not only didn't eat, but ruined the last of their food. And remember, food shortage was the theme of the monster of the week. But apparently some of his memories came back, and because he's pseudo-obsessed with food, like, you know, big eaters, he's more aware of natural supplies, as in kind of like a survivalist. Not exactly a survivalist in the strictest sense, but I guess he likes being out and around in the outdoors, so he knows where to find sources of food, because he goes off after he's shooed away from the campers and finds bamboo shoots, which apparently can be eaten raw. I haven't researched that to check. And gets some fish somehow. He doesn't have a fishing pole to do it, so either he grabbed it from hand from the river, which is exceedingly difficult to do, or he just, when he found the bamboo shoots, he just grabbed one that was growing and used it like a spear, which he also doesn't show doing because it's all off screen. I'm probably overthinking things. I do that at times. Another thing I noticed is when they're battling the monster for the final time. Wright does it all on his own instead of getting the team. So there might be... So if the writers are conscious of it, they might be doing a Wright needs to learn to work with everybody better thing, because he not only fights the main monster alone, he steals the trains from the others to do it, because the trains in the transformation thing are what indicates the color and abilities of their form. So he steals the green train from Ikari to use his axe to shove it in the monster's mouth, and then he steals the yellow train from Mio to, like, hammer it down, because their weapons are an axe and a hammer, respectively. And they get irritated from him, but nothing but no lip service is really given to the matter, which I kind of found as another weak point of it. But they get back to the train and describe and the conductor tells them about the support line trains, and that those are the only two they have, only for Wright to reveal that after this information that he saw something similar to them in the forest when he was getting the food that comes out of nowhere. Now, I'd say this is a sign of Wright's idiocy, but because he didn't know about all the support train stuff when they left, he might have thought it's just a normal train that's just buried in the ground due to things. So now they're going to go back and do that and get the tank. I'm blanking on the name. I'm looking at the list. Tank Russia. Tank Express. Really? Really? That's next episode. But, the General Schwartz managed to plant a listening device on the Rainbow Line, so now he knows about it, and since he's interested in getting Rainbow Line trains to upgrade the capabilities of their trains, next episode is going to be him and the Toqger battling over recovering the train. The Shadow Line guys got a bit more of a development this episode, in that they're not wholly united in bringing back the Emperor. Baron Nero is, but Madame Noah is more interested in promoting the position of her daughter, which is Greta, who is the Grimace from McDonald's in a Lolita dress. We don't know General Schwartz's thing, since he's being the more methodical villain, but it's a bit of fracturing as Baron Nero sees the less of them under him, and likely to be eliminated when the Emperor finally emerges. So, I'd say it's okay. An okay episode. It wasn't good like I figured 2 weeks ago. It wasn't lacking in a lot of things like the first two episodes or last week's, so, middle of the road. On to Gaim. A crack opens in Zawame in plain view, because the way Yggdrasil's been able to keep them quiet is they've mainly been in isolated locations so far. Underground, in industrial areas, in underpasses, places they can block off easily until it closes, while still allowing the occasional invest in, so they can blame the beat writers and the invest game. Unfortunately, this would have broken plausible deniability. Last week, I mentioned two safety devices that they had in place to preserve humanity. The first one I mentioned was Project Arc, which also gets some details about it this episode. But the other one, which I couldn't name off the top of my head, was the Scalar System, and we learned what that is now. The Scalar System is these 4 bulbs that are rotating around Yggdrasil's main office. They are microwave generator guns. Now, microwave radiation, if you haven't seen well, any kind of organics in... You can put a cat in a microwave and kill it. Yeah. Microwaves will kill any organic thing when not contained in some kind of vessel. It's because it's... I guess I don't even really need to say it. If the invest emerged from a crack and people were witness to it, they were going to irradiate the entire area and kill everybody. It's stated in the episode that Zawame, the city Gaim takes place in, has a population of 200,000. Yeah, they were going to kill 200,000 people just to keep everything secret. Project Ark, on the other hand, is a bit more indefensible because it's not really about saving people, it's allowing people to exist in a world populated by the Helheim Forest's plant life, because normally it's plant life turns people into invests, but Project Ark is pretty much just building a lot of the Sengoku drivers for people to wear so they can convert the fruit into food or some type of energy from the rider systems, which I don't know how it works, considering the lock seeds are, well, metal. They can't exactly eat them. Maybe, I don't know, he'll modulate them so that it converts the eaten fruit into something that won't turn people into invests. I didn't get a lot of the details. I didn't think I got a lot of the details as they were intended as I was late this week. Yeah. So, Kota, knowing about the scalar system from last week due to Sid, goes into the Helheim Forest with... Like, get on the damn name. I hate it when I do this. He goes into the forest with Michi to try and defend it from any invest coming out. They find Kaito, who is sending some kind of package through the forest as he searches for the Overlord invest, which should be appearing next week, if anything, if the previews are anywhere near correct. And yeah, Kaito has absolutely no interest in it. None at all. He's not even interested in the fight. So, his motivation's been twisted now. They get to the other side of the crack where Ryoma and Yoko are defending it. And Ryoma drops all of that exposition on the scalar system and Project Ark, and the detail that, at best, over the course of 10 years, they'll only be able to build 1 billion Sengoku drivers. And remember, in a previous episode, they said 10 years is the extended period by which the Helheim Forest would invade and overtake Earth's, at least Earth's in their worlds, usable population. So, 1 billion belts, 7 billion people. And just to keep from being overrun by invests, they would exterminate 6 billion people before they could have the invest population outbreak. Yeah, Yggdrasil has lost any moral high ground at this point. I mean, you could say it was obvious that Sid and Ryoma and Yoko from the last few episodes, that they have their own agenda. Pretty much they're just encouraging what is already the worst case scenario. Because Takatora Bata is guilt-ridden over this, but he has no other choice if things continue as they are. He doesn't like it, but he's trying to save people. But the flaw in that is, you can't save everyone, but you should be shooting for the majority and not the minority. Kill 1 to save 10. Kill 10 to save 100. Kill 100 to save 1,000. It should be less than 1 in 10 to really be worth it. and I need to stop referencing Fate Stay Night. And you can see it in retrospective that he's got this weight on his shoulders, and he's trying to come in acceptance with it and validate himself to someone who's so naively optimistic. And the downside of it is, this is where he finally refutes Kota's statements with the best way he could. He finally showed Kota the recording of him killing Yuya in his invest form from the first episode. So, bit of a day. Though before that, Kota gets the third of the energy lock seeds. After the battle and the crack closes, he steals the peach energy lock seed from Yoko, so now he has a lemon energy, a cherry energy, and a peach energy. It's unknown at this point whether there are any other energy lock seeds, and he just took from their supply. But since Sid wasn't helping out this episode, it's questionable on how fast they are produced. So, end of the episode is with Kota fighting Takatorobata, and yeah, that revelation occurs as he fights his way into the base to destroy the controls for the scalar system, thinking it'll save people and, expose Yggdrasil's secrets so people can be more aware of the danger. Now, a part of the episode that I didn't really like was how Michi was acting, because remember, he's conflicted from previous episodes because he knows the truth and has yet been forced to be a spy, and is personally trying to keep secrets from everybody else to keep them in the dark. In this episode, as people are being evacuated, he tells the rest of his part of the beat writers about this nice underground stage that just opened. It's a shelter. And I don't like the writing for this because it makes Mai and her dancers out to be morons. And we've been shown, because they don't get it. They don't get that he tricked them down here because they didn't hear about the evacuation, which, if there were no evacuation warnings, how the hell did everybody else in the shelters get down there? Or was this just Yggdrasil staff? I don't know. But it's bad writing, but it's a bit of bad writing there, yeah. It's also showing that Michi's desperation to keep these secrets and to have his cake and eat his too is killing him emotionally, because he's selling himself bit by bit to keep this one thing. When they find it out, they'll be more pissed that he kept secrets instead of just telling them outright, and I think that's going to come to a head soon. Now, Kota will probably forgive him, because that's just the kind of guy Kota is, and he's going to have to be dealing with this guilt about Yuya now, so he doesn't want to lose any other people, plus they need to finally really unite to become a fighting force against the Invest. Speaking of which, where has Hideyasu been lately? We haven't seen him changing to Gridon in quite a few episodes, and he's been playing around with Orin, who has still been transforming. Why haven't they been contacted for this? I mean, I know they're wildcards right now, but you'd think they'd be involved in at least trying to keep them out. Unless, of course, Orin's still being an ass, which is certainly possible. Next week, however, we get the super form of the season, the Kachidoki arms. I'll discuss a bit more of that because, well, I want to go into that full after it appears because we don't know its full capabilities right now. We know it has a gun, and we know it has a pair of Sashimono, which are kind of like flags. I'll explain next week. So, okay, episode of Gaim this week, continuing the arc's overall storyline. I'm looking forward to see how the next part concludes. Oh, And also, that was just advertised in... Week after next is going to be a Gaim Toqger crossover, and I'm curious on how they're doing that, because there hasn't been a on-TV writer Sentai team-up since Kamen Rider Decade and Shinkenger, and that one was suffering a bit from both sides' quirks. Best way I can put it right now. So yeah, see you all next week.